too tired.
He falls asleep.
Yeah.
Hi, fans of Coronation Street. I am with my beautiful girlfriend Mollie and my not quite so beautiful friend Glen and Tony, who is actually in the UK.
Yeah.
And so it's almost midnight. Well, it is.
It's almost midnight. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really proud to be part of the video that gets the least views on Larry's channel in 17 years.
Yeah. Yeah. We're responsible for shutting down the Canadian Studmuffin.
Yeah. So I'll just start with a handful of questions, and then you guys can go on from there.
Does anybody know what we're doing? Have we even said?
Yeah, Coronation Street, Glen. Stay with the program.
Oh, okay.
We're already off to a bad start.
I had my 10 favorite Beatles songs ready to go. Tony, when did you start watching?
I started watching it in the mid 70s, I think. And so when I first started watching it, like Coronation Street wasn't a thing that kids watched. It was, it was a grown-ups program. Old people watched it, but a few of my classmates watched it and were talking about it and the sort of the comedy value of it, and that's what made me start watching it. I've never stopped watching it from about 1974 or 5, something like that.
It's like your parents didn't watch it, or your grandparents, or anybody.
Yeah. My parents watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people, grown-ups. Most grown-ups watched it, but kids didn't watch it. I was about 14 or something when I started watching it.
Wow.
But some kids from my school did watch it because because it was kind of on while their parents were watching it. And normally when my parents were watching it, I'd go up in my room and play records. But then when they started talking about it at school, I sort of checked it out and wanted to see what it was about, and you know what it's like. You get drawn in.
Yeah,
you get drawn in.
I have to ask, since you were a teenager at the time, back in the 70s, did they make any like pop culture references or anything like that? That's something you might have been into. They ever reference? Sometimes you'll hear them mention the Beatles, or you'll hear them the odd time mention something that's kind of.
I can't remember, but I can't remember any pop culture references back then, but they do it all the time now. Mm-hmm. And one thing I was going to ask you guys is, because this is relevant to the next bit that I'm going to say, which is a pop culture reference, was that where are you up to in Canada? Because I know that various territories around the world are kind of behind us in the storyline. So what's happening in the storyline where in Canada at the moment?
Well, as of Friday, Spider is leaving the show. Him and Toya just got kidnapped, and they just rescued her. And kind of deciding that they can't be together because he won't quit being a policeman. And
right, yeah.
The end of it. And then Stephen and Tim had a fight, and Stephen hit his head or something, and then he collapsed on the sidewalk. That's the way the last episode ended.
All right, so you're only like a couple of weeks like behind us.
Yeah.
Because one of the funniest things that they've done recently was, I don't know if you remember, it was only like a few months ago, but when Carla and Stephen were working like in the factory, Carla and Stephen were like at loggerheads, and obviously Stephen is supposed to be Canadian, isn't he? So Carla, every time she speaks to him, she calls him the name of a Canadian pop star. She go, Alanis Morissette over here, or Leonard Cohen over here, Neil Young. Which was brilliant. I was rolling up. It was brilliant. It was brilliantly done. It was very funny.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and then they also had the same with the Canadian reference when that guy was going to buy the factory, and then Stephen scared him off, and then he was mad at Stephen, said he wouldn't hire him, and then he kind of was getting drawn back, and Stephen drew him over to the apartment, and they were having a big surprise Canada Day party for Stephen.
Oh, yeah.
Guy out, kind of scared. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Is that actor that plays Stephen? Is he actually like, is he Canadian or is
I think
he
he's American?
Yeah, because his accent, I don't know what kind of Canadian accent he's supposed to be
Yeah, I think he's
using.
I think he's a American.
Yeah,
But I'm not a
fan.
It works in the UK because we can't really tell
You can't really,
the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mollie, how long have you been watching?
I was just thinking about that today. I think it's since around 2000.
Okay.
So it was like the Richard Hillman storyline was coming in.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I mean, I know my grandma watched it like years before. Like I didn't watch it with her, but I knew that she watched it. So I knew of it before, but started watching it when I had a girlfriend come to Canada from England, and I would go to her house, and her mom was always watching it. It was like on all the time, and I remember kind of walking by the TV, and I'd see a clip, and it would kind of catch your eye, like what's that? What's happening in that show, right? And then I kind of asked what that was, and then I don't know when it came on CBC in Canada. It must have been
very early.
Yeah, a long time before
Very
that. So
early
yeah, I
on.
started watching it too because she would talk about it, her family would talk about it. So again, like Tony, I would just kind of was curious. So then you get hooked, right? The Richard Hillman storyline got me hooked.
That's the one.
That was my
So that was one of the best storylines.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
I started because my wife Lynn has been a huge fan since she was a little kid.
Oh.
And so she's been watching it since the 60s.
Wow.
And
okay.
When around 1994, I'm going to say somewhere around there, she was like, I had a little computer set up on one side in the TV room. We were in this apartment, and she'd be watching Coronation Street faithfully every night, and I'd be on the computer, and I'd hear this plot lines going in my ear, but I couldn't see any. I couldn't see the TV. And every once I kept myself going, "What the heck was that?
Yeah.
What was that?" And then pretty soon I'm moving over to the couch going,
Yeah.
and hooked ever since. We haven't missed an episode, I don't think, since since
every
the 90s.
Do you watch it every night, or do you watch it on like the Sundays?
Every night.
Yeah.
All right. So you have it on every night, do you?
Yeah.
You have an episode every night.
And then the whole week on a Sunday if you missed it. So you
Yeah,
can
we get half-hour episodes. They give us 2 on Mondays, and then they give us 1 every Tuesday to Friday. So we're getting
right, okay. Because it always used to be half an hour, but now we get an hour 3 times a week, so it's 3 hours a week.
Yeah, that's nice though.
Yeah. But it's funny you should say about the Richard Hillman story, because also in the UK on one of the satellite channels, I think ITV have got about 3 or 4 satellite channels where they show repeats of old shows, and they show classic Coronation. They call it classic Coronation Street, but it's it's basically about 20 years ago, and they show it every day, 2 episodes every day. So sometimes when we're having lunch, we stick it on and watch it, and it is the Richard Hillman story is happening at the moment. I think they're in 2003, and he's just killed Maxine.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I was in college at that time, and we had I think it was a film class, and they wanted us to show something that we really liked on, I don't know, TV or whatever it was, media. And I showed that clip of Richard coming in and saying, Maxine, you should have stayed at the party, Maxine, and hitting it. And even the people in my school, which were my age, they kind of were gripped on it too. But like that was a big, that was all over the place, and the big scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember how much longer it goes on before he gets caught out.
I don't think it's much longer after that, right? Because he killed his wife.
It's been going on for quite a while now. Yeah.
Is the gentleman who played Richard Hillman, is he a popular actor in the UK, or is he that was a one-shot deal? You never see him again, or?
No, I've never seen him in anything else.
Isn't that funny, because he was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was really good, and he kind of won awards that year.
Uh-huh.
But I've never seen him. I've never seen him in anything else.
I'll bet you to this day, almost probably close to 25 years later, I bet you that guy can't walk down the street without going.
Well, I remember in an interview he said that during that time, he said women would come up to him and hit him with their purses and like get mad at him. He goes, "I'm just acting." They were really mad. They take it really personally.
There's Richard.
There's Richard Hillman. But Coronation Street does something, I think, with with characters like that like John State, Richard Hillman, Tony Gordon, all these like Pat Phelan, right? That they're like these villains, but you actually like them a bit too. Like you can understand where they
they have a human side, right?
Yeah, you kind of like, well, he did that because he was dead. You kind of always kind of relate to them a bit. Like Richard Hillman, like I liked Richard Hillman. Even though he was those things, I still like. I thought he was a nice kind of guy. But they make that give you the real side of somebody. And
they're doing that now with Steven, right? It's the same thing. I mean, people's he killed now, but he was. It's always seems he just stumbles into the no, I got to do it again.
Yeah, I know. Like,
I mean, they do try and they eke these storylines out until you're fed up with them. Do you know what I mean? They go on for too long. The Pat Phelan thing went on for too long, and everyone thought he was dead, and then he came back, didn't they?
It got a little weird, and I think he went a little too far with his killing of like.
Don't you think that's something that's just happened over the last, say, 10 years more than anything with Corey? I thought when I first started watching it, one of the things that drew me to it is the plots moved along really quickly. Like if you say soap opera in North America, most people think The Edge of Night, and I don't know, name some. I can't think all those American network soap operas, which are absolutely horrid. Yeah. And those plots, like from what I understand, you can. There's a plot going on now. If you turned the show off for a year and went back and watch it, that plot's still probably going on. Like, and Corey never used to be like that. It used to. I thought it moved quickly and resolved itself, and now it's kind of okay. I've had enough. You're beating it to death now.
Yeah, I think they've once they realise they've hit on a good storyline, they keep it going and going and going. Apparently, the Stephen Reed thing is here until back Christmas time. I think it's going to finish about that Christmas time. I don't know how it's going to finish, but that's what they're saying. That it's around till about Christmas time.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of enjoying. I'm kind of enjoying that one actually, but we'll see.
Yeah, because he's a funny one because he's not like pure evil. There's a kind of a bumbling comedy aspect to the way that all these things he has to keep covering his tracks, and it's not that kind of pure evil thing like Pat Phelan. I think it was just like there's a kind of a likable side to him as well, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They kind of make you almost root for them a little bit. And then you think, wait, no, I shouldn't. But then you think you can see the human side of them, or why they had to do what they did, or why they're doing what they're doing. So
exactly.
Then there's things like that you said that they drag on storylines, but sometimes I feel like they forget these storylines. Like Tracy, like she's killed. She's a murderer, right? But we've forgotten about that. Like if there's things that we just forget about, or just the kind of the turnover with Coronation Street too. I think like. When Leanne Battersby's mother came back, who hadn't seen her since she was a baby, she ran the Rovers for a bit with Carl, who killed Sunita and all this kind of stuff. But, then she went away, and then you never hear from her again. Like, do they never come back? It's sort of weird how, like, Les Battersby never comes back. And after all these, they'll have a huge event in their life. And then you never hear about their family. They'll get married. The parents don't come back. Funeral parents don't.
Yeah, they don't even mention them. It's like Ryan having his face, the acid on his face. His mom doesn't come back to see.
Oh, I know. Or when they want to move out, they can move out in a day, and they just take a suitcase and they're out. And you think, nice.
Yeah, once they say bye to a character, he's that's it.
And they're leaving that night in the black cab with their one suitcase with all their worldly.
I've kind of appreciated sometimes where they just get another actor to play the part. Like I don't mind if they did that. Like it worked great with Todd. Like I didn't think when that guy came in and played Todd when he first came in, I'm going, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but he's the better Todd.
Yeah, you forget about the other one. Really,
because the old Todd in the classic Coronation Street that they're running at the moment from 2003 is straight. And he's actually with Sarah Platt.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and they have a kid, and the kid dies. And
yeah.
Who does?
Yeah.
Who's with Sarah? What?
Todd in classic Coronation Street. So
right.
They haven't yet decided that he's going to be gay.
Yeah.
So at the moment he's straight. And
and they're having the baby.
They have a baby.
They're not at the moment. They've just slept together for the first. Well, actually, we're miles behind where it's running live because we don't watch it like every day, but we kind of we've got it on a series link, so it records it every day. But we're about 80 episodes behind what they're actually running at the moment, and the ones that we've recently watched, he's just got with Sarah, and he's. So he's straight at the moment, but it's funny that like when they like you say, when they have like a wedding or something like that, like they've got no family outside of Coronation Street. It's just the neighbours that come to the wedding or whatever.
Yeah. And that's the other thing when you mention weddings. It's funny. It's like a Coronation Street trait that something bad always happens at a wedding.
Yeah, nothing ever.
Never has gone. Or like Haley and Roy's when they're on the the train and the pump, it's just like everything's so dramatic. It has to be like, even if it's funny, it's got to be something wrong. Yeah.
That's funny. So for the benefit of the people who are viewing and aren't Coronation Street fans and kind of wondering what the heck we're going on about, the show centers around it from the start. It centered around a pub, the local pub, the Rovers Return. And I'm just curious now, like, how do you guys find, now that they've kind of turned that around a bit, now everybody hangs out at Roy's Rolls or hangs out at the bistro or hangs out. Do you think that it's lost a bit of its charm with the pub not being such a centerpiece of the?
Well, I don't like the speed doll, thing. I'm like, just get, or like even like the bistro at times was kind of like, okay, fine, but speed doll. I was like, just leave it alone. I don't need to go to speed doll.
Yeah,
it should be more pub.
It's a bit odd because it's if you look at the houses, it's a very working class street, and like a bistro is like the last kind of business that would thrive in that sort of area, or the people would be able to afford to eat a bistro, or even they go over to the bistro to have a drink and pay twice as much as they pay in the Rovers or whatever. Yeah. But I think they just kind of have to have different sets, I suppose, to mix it up a bit. A
new coffee shop, and then they have that, the Barbers was all like a new hip barber shop, and I thought, I don't know, you should have a small little, it's kind of a too trendy type of hip. I don't know.
Yeah,
so they're trying, but I kind of like when I watch the classic Corys, I like that, more and more realistic. The corner shop and the butcher shop and the cabin, stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I think from a production point of view, like I'm sure they're concerned about the age group of people that are watching the show. They probably feel like they need to attract a young audience. And you sort of because a lot of the plots center around teenagers. And
I think that like going by from my kids, and my daughter doesn't really watch Coronation Street. But she's banging to EastEnders. She never misses EastEnders. So, younger people, I think, like soaps more than than younger people did. When we were younger, I suppose. Mm-hmm. We've got a couple. I don't know if you get it over in Canada, but do you get Hollyoaks at all?
Well, I know about Hollyoaks.
Yeah. Hollyoaks is like a young. It's still a soap opera, but it's like all the characters are all young in it, I think.
Yeah, it's a little bit cheesy though, I thought.
I don't actually watch it, but all the characters are young and beautiful, and it kind of attracts a younger crowd. But I think there's probably plenty of people young people that watch Corrie, I reckon.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot. They've certainly brought the plots in, like Amy with the rape thing.
Yeah. I mean, they've got lots of young characters in it now.
Yeah,
and
I'm not really a fan of any of the young characters at the moment. Really, I don't think any of them really interest me. But
some of them have come along and been pretty good actors. Like I think the classic one, like David Platt.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was a little kid. I mean, he is just a natural. I mean, he's such a good actor, and
he's been great since
when
he got
Amy
in there.
came on the show, she couldn't get 2 words out of her mouth. She seemed so awkward and everything, going, "Oh my god!" And now she's just a wonderful actress. Like some of
who's that? Amy.
Amy, yeah.
Amy's brilliant. Yeah, love Amy.
Some people, some of them really catch on.
Well, David's been great since the moment he got on that show. He's been such a good little actor since he's little. Yeah.
I mean, some of those characters have been in it for years, because like going back to the classic Corrie, so the 2003 that we're watching, David Platt is about 10 in it. Sarah is 16. Maria's about 18. Toya's about 18.
Yeah.
So all these people that are kind of still in it, they're still got. I don't think they've ever worked on anything else, but they're all they're stalwarts now. They're senior characters now.
Yeah, the original characters almost now. I was saying some of them, though, characters I found that were good at the beginning, and then they're almost getting worse now. Like I think like Deb used to be good. Gail, I don't know what's happened to her. She used to be a really good, character, and now she's just kind of goofy and dumb and walking around like I don't know what she's doing. And or even like Fizz was really good when she first started on Coronation Street. She was like in and but now it's kind of like this kind of like they've lost kind of their. Even Sally, she was kind of a really serious character at the beginning and really, really good. And then now she's kind of being kind of dumb and being kind of like,
I really like Sally. I really like the new Sally, the snobby Sally.
Oh, I love her and Tim together. They're great. Yeah, they are good, but they're just changed so much. Her character kind of has changed. It's kind of like I guess they want to just kind of be more lighthearted or funny or I don't know. But when you watch the old classic ones to now, you can tell how different they kind of are.
Yeah.
You're taking the focus off the old actors and characters and kind of focus on new people. It's like people like Rita, and she comes in every once in a while and says something to somebody, and that's pretty much it, right? She's never part of a plot or.
No, she hasn't really got any storylines because, she's very old, isn't she now? So same with Ken, you can really hear it in his voice. He's like the Paul McCartney of the Coronation Street.
Yeah,
you can hear his voice is like really sort of quite croaky. But talking about characters where they change the actors for the characters, there's a new one coming in. They've just brought in a new Hope.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah,
in the last episode, Ruby.
Ruby.
Sorry, Ruby. Yeah, Ruby.
Did they bring in a new Ruby? I didn't know.
Yeah. I think it was the first episode on Friday that she was in.
I think she looked well cast. Like she almost looked like she could be Kirsten Tyrone's daughter.
How did you see that? How did you see that, Molly?
Well, I watch it online. So I'm up to date with what's going on, and so I don't just watch
the telecast on CBC. You're watching it.
Wasn't CBC always trying to get ahead, right, so they could catch up? I don't know what that's about. Are
they ever going to catch up? They wanted to get closer, but at one time we were months behind. I don't know if you remember. You go back 5 years, we were probably 2 months behind.
Yeah, that's why I asked the question, because I knew that some territories are like way behind. I had a friend in New Zealand, and she always used to say, what's happening in Corrie, because we're about 6 months behind. And
well, they would also CBC would stop it right if there was like the Olympics or something, so we wouldn't be able to see it for weeks.
That's right. Yeah.
So then that set us back too. So yeah. But I just go ahead and watch what everyone's saying.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So don't give me spoilers.
Yeah.
My wife looks up the spoilers all the time. She goes, so and so's leaving the show.
She wants to ruin it first. Spoil for herself.
And then I'm looking at the plots going, oh, this is going to lead to that because he's leaving.
So what Larry's questions were what? Who's your favorite actor on it?
Yeah, and least favorite.
And least favorite. I guess
actor or character?
We'll do character, I guess. Who's your favorite character? Or maybe a couple, because I can't just choose one.
Currently, or
I guess
let's do two. Current and old school.
Oh, It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I think Evelyn's a brilliant character.
Oh yeah, she was great.
And she would definitely be the best actor as well.
Yeah.
without any question.
When I ask about her, my wife says that she is a big star in Britain. Do you know?
Oh God, yeah. She's a I actually saw her in the theatre a few months ago.
Oh wow!
She was doing a one-woman show, and it was amazing. It's called Rose, and it's basically she's Jewish, and she was basically telling the story of her life story, and when she, not Maureen Lipman, but the character was in a concentration camp during the war, and basically she talks about her whole life from being in a concentration camp in World War II to right up to date, and it's about a 2.5 hour show, and Maureen Lipman, she literally just sits on a bench on the stage, and she just does this thing. I mean, how she's something like about 73 or 74 years old, and how she can learn that amount of dialogue off by heart is just incredible.
That would be great to see. I'd love to see that.
It's brilliant. It was absolutely brilliant. But yeah, she's a fairly big actress. She's a comedy actress usually, but this was a very serious part, although it did have funny bits in it. But yeah, she's mainly a sort of a comedy actress. And did you ever get London's Burning in Canada?
No, not that I'm aware of.
All right, okay. Well, her husband, I think he's dead now. Jack Rosenthal. He is he's like a script writer. He's written like a lot of TV series and stuff.
He just passed away recently, right?
Yeah, fairly recently. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So she's coming back to Coronation Street after she does that production, I guess?
She is. Yeah. So she's doing the second run of that now. And then
that's good. She's
we need people like her. She was like the Blanche we needed, kind of like that kind of.
She's a throwback character,
yeah. Because Blanche is one of my favorites.
Yeah. I mean, Blanche, brilliant character.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose just one or two, or of your favorites, right?
Yeah.
I'm currently like David Platt's one of my favorites, and Steve McDonald. I don't know why. I just always like Steve. He kind of throws a bit of the comedy into the show.
Oh yeah, he's this comedy. Yeah, and Tim.
Yeah. Steve and Karen were brilliant together.
They were incredible.
They were
That's my wife's favorite. Is Karen McDonald.
Yeah.
Fran Jones. She was unbelievable.
Out of the younger ones, I think Amy's brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Fiz's daughter.
Hope.
Hope.
Hope. Oh my God, she's turned into quite a little actress too.
She's really funny as well.
Yeah. I think her twin brother plays Chesney's son, or is it Chesney's son?
Yeah, that's
something like that.
Yeah, that's
something like that. Yeah. They were in the last episode I watched with the new Ruby. They were in that together. So lots of little kids coming. All the little kids growing up now in the show.
Do you have a favorite, like, kind of when you first started watching or something? Someone that's
I always liked Fred Elliott. I always liked him from the beginning. So when I first started, he was kind of funny.
Yeah,
the Butcher
Fred. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's still in the classic Corries that we're watching.
Yeah,
he's still in that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the early days when I first started watching it. I'm trying to remember who was in it.
I remember my grandparents' favorite was Jack and Vera. They loved Jack and Vera. That couple.
Oh yeah, Jack and Vera. Yeah. Hilda and Stan. When I first started watching, brilliant comedy characters. Gail was like about 18 or 19 when I started watching it. She's been in it the whole time.
Well, remember when what was Mike Baldwin's wife's name?
What, Linda?
Was it Linda?
The one,
No,
what, the
you
one that
mean,
was the,
No, the first, the one before that.
Alma.
oh my god.
Alma and Gail ran a
Calf, yeah.
Was it a restaurant?
Roy bought it.
It was like a calf.
Yeah, and they brought Roy in, and Roy was like a simpleton. He was like a slow adult. And now they've transferred Roy into like he knows everything.
He knows everything about everything. Yeah, when Roy first came into it, he was like a tenant in some flats that Mike Baldwin owned, I think.
Yeah.
So Mike was his landlord, and Mike wasn't very nice to him. And I'm not sure how he eventually came. I can't remember how he eventually came into the street, but yeah. Yeah,
they've currently transformed his character.
Yeah, I mean, Roy's a really, much loved character here.
Yeah, he's who you go to if you need help in a Coronation Street. Go to Roy. Yeah.
But the character that really got me interested in watching Corey when I used to go look into it is Jim McDonald.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What did they do to Jim? They just made him a bank robber and put him
turned him into a crook.
Yeah.
But I thought he was a great actor, and he used to hang out with Kevin's dad, Bill Webster.
Oh yeah, he was good.
Be in the bar together, and I just thought they were so cool. They were my favorites. Yeah. What actually, Charles I think his name's Lawton.
Lawson, is it? Oh, it might be Lawton. Lawton or Lawson, yeah.
Yeah, he has an Instagram page, and when the character who played Bill Webster passed away, he did an Instagram post kind of saying, I miss this kind of thing, and I responded. I made a comment saying, hey, fair play, Billy. That was like, my favorite. He used to say that all the time to Bill Webster, fair play, Billy.
Yeah.
He responded back to me with a thumbs up.
Did he?
So what about the actresses, and who's your favorite actresses? Or female characters.
Saran Jones, I think, was the best actress ever.
And Lynn is Rita, right? She loves Rita.
Yeah.
Yeah. Saying that.
Yeah, Saran Jones is just a brilliant actress. Anything since she's done, it's can't miss TV if she's in it.
Yeah, I mean, whatever she's in is usually brilliant.
Yeah.
But I also like Kate Ford as Tracy Barlow.
Me too.
She's brilliant. It's just a brilliant character.
Yeah.
Well, she
she has no filter, right? She just says whatever.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Which adds a bit of humor to it. Now there was when Adam called everybody into the Rovers to announce that Sarah was pregnant, and then Sarah didn't want that to happen, and then they had the Barlows and the Platts all in the bar together. Just the lines going back and forth, and the cracks that Tracy was making, and it was priceless. That was pure Corey magic.
She does get some brilliant lines.
Yeah. Yeah, they actually need more plots for Tracy. Yeah,
she's sort of, she's taken a bit of a step back, I think, recently.
Yeah. I kind of they could kind of be like the new Jack and Vera if they wanted to make them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, they are probably whoever Steve McDonald is with. There's always a kind of a good comedy partnership, whether it be Saran Jones, or when it was what's her name? I forgot her name. His second wife,
Becky.
Becky. That was a great partnership as well.
No, Becky and Tracy were good together too, right? Like all their fighting and everything, and I think
the gentleman who was it Lloyd? Is his partner in the taxi firm before?
Yeah.
They were great together too.
Lloyd was good character.
They were like Abbott Costello.
Yeah. I think they tried to get Fizz and Tyrone to be like the new Jack and Vera, but it just didn't. It's not really working out.
No.
They tried it, but
getting back to the Rovers, who is your favorite barmaid or anybody, somebody who worked behind the bar that you like the best?
Bet Lynch.
Bet
Lynch, yeah. She was.
Bet was classic. Who else has been really
I like
good?
when the Duckworths worked back there. They were good.
Yeah. That's good.
And
not Barmaid, but when what's his name? Alec Gilroy was.
He
was a brilliant character.
Yeah.
I thought.
Didn't Evelyn, the character that plays Evelyn, wasn't she a different character at one point? She ran the Rovers. She was the manager for a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was recently just for recently in classic Coronation Street. She came in and took over the Rovers for a few weeks. It was just
I don't remember that.
Sort of a cameo. She was a different character, obviously. It was after they had that joint partnership between Fred, Mike, and Dev. I think it was.
Oh, okay.
That owned the pub at that time.
Then they had it's funny how they have like the characters come back. Like Tim would play a detective, and now he's Tim. So there's such a different character that come back and play. So it's funny when you see them, you think they don't try to hide it. They just bring it back the same character or the same actor to play. Yeah,
because I think if they leave it long enough, then and they had a fairly minor role, then people forget. Then
you watch all of it
before.
Do you have any favorite plots going on right now, or plots that you wish would resolve themselves quickly?
Yes. I really want. I can't bear Paul.
Paul,
with the
and his mum and everything.
The multi-neuron disease. That I can't. I've never liked him as a character anyway.
Yeah.
So. He'll be going out of it quite soon, and that's okay with me.
And what do you think of his mum and her dating Dev? I think that's such a random couple.
That is a really random couple, especially when you are watching the classic Coronation Streets, because Dev is where we are in 2003, and those Dev is a fairly new character. He's been in it maybe a couple of years or something, and he's quite young, and he's suave and he's sophisticated, and he's going out with this woman and that woman and the other woman. He's got loads of them. He's a bit of a playboy.
Yeah.
And now he's with Bernie. He's kind of lowered the bar a little bit.
It's just strange how they change.
Lowered the bar.
And he used to have about 10 shops or something now? Or does he just have one? I don't even know. He used to be a real big
how many shops he's got now.
business guy,
but he has the kebab. He owns the kebab shop.
Well.
Yeah. But they've just kind of made Dev into a bit of a joke character now.
Yeah.
He's not. I know he's playing it for laughs, but it's a bit over the top.
That's what I mean. Yeah, even Gail, that kind of stuff. It's like, what do we?
Yeah. I don't really like what they've done with Dev. They've kind of made him really camp, which is really odd, quite odd as well.
Yeah.
I
think he's there almost just in a support role to further the characters of his kids.
The kids, yeah. The kids, I really like the kids. Are great, I think.
Yeah, but they've changed it so much.
Well, ever since Sunita left him, I think he kind of went like that, kind of sort of. Who did he date after? I think he did Julie after that, which was kind of a weird mismatch. Julie, do you remember her?
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of strange. And then ever since then, it's kind of...
I thought he might end up with Mary for a while.
That was strange.
When he was watching the kids there, it looked like, she was just going to move right in.
Yeah. Mary's a great character.
She's a great...
Well.
She
gets some brilliant lines.
Yeah. She has great lines. Probably the funniest lines in the show are from Mary.
Yeah.
When she'll reminisce about her mom or something and come up with classic lines.
His mother used to say,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I could lose that plot with Brian and his Italian cousin.
Oh,
yeah.
What was that all about? I'm like,
another
thing, just to bring in some comedy, I think. But
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, but it wasn't that funny.
No.
And the only thing I don't want to turn this into a crapping on Corey thing, because we all love the show so much. But sometime in the last couple of years, the writers decided that they were going to put somebody on staff to research every disease known to man, and they were going to have focus on every one of them, like the new one with Paul, the MND or whatever they're calling it, and they've done cancer, and they've done so many in the last couple of years that everybody's got something going on.
With like Leanne's son with his disease that died, Oliver. I mean, I didn't remember what that was. I never heard of it, and I think it's just such like sad situations all the time. You know, you think sometimes, like I remember someone saying that, you know, that one street has never known so many, you know, diseases and fires and, you know, explosions, and like it's like so much goes on.
Yeah, and how many inhabitants of one street have been to prison? I've been in jail.
Try and name the ones who haven't.
Sorry,
I bet you that you could. I bet you a very short list of people who haven't been in prison.
Yeah, yeah. They've all been. Virtually all of them have been in here.
Yeah, I always say that to my wife. Can you imagine if this was a real street in England and these were real people and there was a house for sale? You would touch it with a barge pole.
He said the insurance rates would be out the roof.
These people are insane. I don't know there.
It's like cursed street, yeah. Because everyone's been in a hospital too. Everyone's been some critically ill or something, you know, almost dead at one point.
A coma. Corey Coma is a big.
Yeah.
Corey Crash, Corey Coma.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Every wedding, right? Every wedding's cursed.
Yeah.
That's they have to do that.
Every baby has a unknown father. Who's the father?
And the other thing is that, like, when you think about the murderers and serial, like, how many murderers have lived on that street, and how many the Platt? Let's take the Platt family. Right. So Gail's first husband, I think, like Sarah and Nick's dad was murdered.
Yeah,
Brian. Brian.
Right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Gail married Richard Hillman. He was a serial killer.
Well, Martin after that, right?
Yeah. Gail married or wanted to be with that other guy. Remember the guy who was in the show for a while and Pat Phelan killed him? He had a bad heart.
Yeah. Les Dennis. I can't remember what his character was. He was like part of a cop. He first became famous as part of a, you know, like a Saturday night comedy duo. He was he used to do impersonations. He used to do him and his partner, who was called Dustin G. They used to do impersonations on the show of Vera and Mavis from Coronation.
Really?
And he ended up being on it.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he burgled what's her name? What's her name? Gail's
house. Yeah, that's how
that's how they fell in love, right? Because she tried to help him, and then he had the heart problem.
And then Sarah and David, they murdered that Callum and buried him in Gail's bedroom.
And that was the live one, wasn't it? The live Coronation Street, I think. It was exciting.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get away with that? Because they had to rip up the
and then Kylie got murdered. That was David's wife, right?
That was a good scene, a good episode. That was sad. But
the other thing that's kind of getting a bit out of hand now is the racist thing too, with the right wing radicals who are.
They take everything and just go really aggressive on every topic. You know, they try to find a relevant topic and like kind of go a little too.
Yeah, that was like a bit ridiculous because there was, you know, that racist group. There's like only about 5 of them in it.
Yeah, yeah.
Tough guys, yeah.
That's hilarious. Wow, but enough crapping on Corey.
Yeah, Larry has a question. He gave it to me. It said,
"Hi guys, remember me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi.
You guys need me for anything?
No.
Canadian crumpet or something.
Studmuffin.
Yeah, muffin.
If you need me, just holler.
Canadian crumpet.
I'm not getting jealous, honest.
Ask your question.
No, you can ask.
Well, Larry said, "What's your favorite scene of all time?" Scene, like not storyline. Scene.
Oh God, don't know.
You know, it was a good one. I think they made it the whole half-hour show. It was when Curly and who was the barmaid that he was with?
Oh, Raquel. Yeah,
Raquel. Remember they did that half-hour episode?
It was just a two-man show. Yeah,
where she came back in his
that was riveting. That was
where she told him she had a daughter. That one.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they've done some sort of spectacular things where, you know, trains come off the viaduct and landed on the street, and fires and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. But I guess if there was a scene that you like, just that, even doesn't have to be dramatic, I guess if it's just a nice scene.
Well, there's one scene you showed me about some guy dying in the street. Do you remember that?
Some guy dying in the street. What scene was that?
Well, Mike Baldwin died in Ken Harlow's arms.
No, it wasn't that one, I don't think. But there's a guy dying in the street.
You showed me more than once. So
oh, do you remember anything else about it? Dying in the street.
Yeah, it was like her husband died.
Well, Kylie.
In her arms.
Yeah, Kylie died in David's arms.
I think that's what you mean, when she was stabbed, yeah. And they were kind of remembering all the things, all the secrets they had together, right? That she was going to obviously take to.
Yeah, there's been a lot of drama. But really, the drama isn't what draws me to the show, it's the charm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what makes Coronation Street great. And I feel like they've gotten away from that, more into drama and less charm. I like the charming parts and the little.
Yeah, even now, like I don't know where again Canada is, but like with Sarah and the baby's who's a father, if it's Damon or whoever, it just sort of seems like would that really? It just sort of seems like it's just unnecessary, kind of like upset and just like we're supposed to feel sorry for Sarah. I don't know, you just.
And sometimes the writing, you're kind of going like when Sarah reveals to Adam that he is the real father, but she got the phone call. There was no letter.
And I like that
he's a lawyer.
And he's a solicitor, right?
Yeah,
he believes her word.
He's not working in a garage or as a janitor or something. He's a lawyer. And I don't need to see the letter, the legal proof.
Yeah, good point.
But yeah, I guess I don't even know. I don't have a favorite scene. I guess just
it's a shame. It's a shame that I thought that Damon was a really good character. It's just a shame. It's just a shame that he's a drug dealer, because I would have liked him to stick around, really. Because
you like his character, no matter what.
He was a really good character. He had some good, funny one-liners and stuff like that, and he was likable. And it was just a bit of a shame, really. Maybe they'll bring him back. I don't know.
Well, that's why I was wondering if they're going to bring him back if that's Sarah's kid, or I don't know if she actually goes to and has the baby. I'm kind of still thinking that she's probably
she's lost it. She's lost it, I think.
Oh, she's going to. I wasn't. You're giving spoiler.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry.
Does Lynn know that?
I didn't realize it was that recent.
I couldn't see. I couldn't see her carrying that full term and having a baby in the show.
No.
That doesn't make sense.
No, too much stress.
I'll tell you my favorite scene ever, the funny scene, is Jack Duckworth and Vera celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary and walking into the Rover's Return. And they walk up to the thing, order their beer, and I forget who was behind the bar, and they said, "Oh, Jack, you're celebrating 25 years of marriage?" He says, "No, 10. No," he said, "Oh, what are you doing?" He says, "We're celebrating 10 years of happy marriage." And the bartender says, "I thought you were married 25. He said, "Yeah, but only 10 of them were happy."
Well, even like Vera's death was such a good scene too. The way he filmed that, you just knew it was real almost to them. Like they were really.
They were probably the best couple ever on the show. If you think about favorite couples like that, I don't know if there's anybody better than Jack and Vera together.
Yeah.
No.
Liz and Jim McDonald were just.
Where did Liz go? Where is she now? I don't remember when she left.
I don't know. She comes back so often.
She comes and goes.
You forget where she
was very quiet when she left. They didn't do a big fanfare for her. She just kind of was in the plot. She was going to visit her other son or something in Spain or wherever he is.
Yeah.
And like Emily, where did Emily go?
She went. Didn't she go off to?
Like
Peru or something.
Peru with some pencils, and she never came back.
Yeah, and I think she's still alive, isn't she? That actress who plays Emily.
I think so. She just obviously decided she'd had enough.
Spider was Spider's aunt, right? Or
yes, that's how he came into the show.
And when Spider came back, I don't know. I thought it was just kind of a joke. Is acting?
I was never a big Spider fan, and I kind of question why would they bring him back for these kind of stupid plots and then
and be that kind of character. It was strange. It was like an undercover cop. I thought I didn't. And then he just all of a sudden
unless he didn't have plan. Unless this is just something that happened quickly that he decided to leave the show. I'm not sure. When you're over in England, are there like magazines, or is there a lot of press about the show where you say, oh, so and so going to be leaving?
Yeah,
I mean, so left. You never hear the reasons why people are leave the show.
No, I mean, I don't buy them, but there are like soap, like magazines, like weekly magazines that cover all the soaps that we've got. You know, we've got about 5 or 6 here, and they cover kind of all the soaps and all the gossip about the soaps and what, you know, the plot spoilers and all that sort of stuff.
I'm always curious when someone leaves the show why they left, whether the producers decided you're out of here.
Yeah, I think you can.
Or whether they leave on their own because they've got other work, or.
Yeah.
Peter just left, right? Peter to do some production.
Peter's doing pantomime. He's doing panto at Christmas, so he's left to go and rehearse for that. But he hasn't left. He hasn't left in the show yet, but obviously they're recording, several weeks.
I heard he was leaving. Is he coming back, do you think, or that's it?
I don't know.
I thought I heard he was coming back, just leaving just to do that production.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah,
Peter's like a good character too. He's
he's been great.
Yeah.
When you see like a lot of characters like leave at the same time, that's usually a contract thing where, a load of actors' contracts are up or whatever, and they've decided not to renew them.
You know who's been a great new character over the last year? I guess I'm not sure how long it's been. Daisy.
Oh yeah, I really like Daisy. Yeah, I really like Daisy.
Have you seen that attack on the Rovers with Daisy? I guess you have, right, Glenn? Canada's caught up to that, the acid attack.
The acid.
That was a really that scene was really dramatic. I mean, I really believe that scene. It was really well done.
That's another thing. Like they're kind of shocking plots. I know I think there was a thing going on in England in the news. Wasn't that kind of the acid throwing there was quite a few incidents of it in real life?
Yeah. I'm not sure about quite a few, but it does happen. It does happen. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really well. I think they won a bunch of awards for that too. That storyline. So British Soap Awards.
Yeah, I wish I could see the British Soap Awards because
YouTube. Just look on YouTube. You can see them.
Oh, can you watch the whole thing?
Yeah. Well, in bits, I think I've watched it in like sort of best actor, best scene, and things like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Is there any place you'd like to see Corey go? Is there a plot you'd like to see? 2 people get together, 2 people split up? Anything?
I don't know.
One thing that always bugs me about Corey is they don't leave couples together long, and like some couples just be together all the time. No. Like don't split up Fizz and Tyrone. They were good together, and then they had he ran off with the girl.
Elena.
I'm quite glad that Sarah and Adam have split up because his hair drives me mad.
He doesn't know what to do with it, does he?
He's got all that gel in his hair.
Yeah.
And he's always in a suit.
And a little sort of top knot at the back there. Terrible hair. He's definitely punching with Sarah. Definitely.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, I think the opposite. I think he could do a lot better than Sarah.
Oh, you're a fool.
Oh, I did.
Controversial.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that Sarah was 40.
Oh, yeah, she's
she just turned 40 last week. I saw on Instagram they were having a party for her.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
She's about 12.
Her daughter's coming back
when she first came into it.
That Bethany Platt, that actress, she's coming back.
She's coming back.
Is she coming back?
She's coming back. Yeah. Reported, so I don't know what they'll do with that, but
she was a good actress. So that's nice to hear.
Yeah, she's a good actress.
Yeah. What characters would you like to see come back?
Oh.
Danny Baldwin. I'd love Danny
Baldwin.
Yeah,
he is coming back, I think.
Danny Baldwin is?
I'm sure we read that he's coming back.
Well, that'd be great.
My wife said he's coming back.
Last time I saw him, he was hosting a game show or
something. Yeah, he is. The Chase, I think it's called.
I mean, how
it's
the
like a daytime game show, but maybe he's giving it up and coming. He's coming back.
That would be interesting. I wonder if he'd come back and buy the factory off of.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking, because kind of Carla's had enough.
Stephen's
gonna get locked up at some point. So yeah, maybe he's come. That's what he's coming back for.
That would be great if he does. I loved that.
Yeah, he was a really good character.
But I'll tell you, what might be the worst plot in the history of Coronation Street was when Danny Baldwin's son had an affair with Danny Baldwin's wife. He had an affair with his stepmom. Remember that?
They ran off together. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Danny was with Leanne. Danny went with his son's girlfriend Leanne, right? So everyone's just
yeah. But they did that with, because Mike Baldwin's son had an affair with his wife Linda.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Even when they went their wedding.
Yeah, that's the one I mean. Yeah, that's the one I mean. That wasn't Mike Baldwin's wife. Wasn't that Danny Baldwin's wife, Linda?
No, it's Mike Baldwin's wife, Linda, who was like one of the factory girls.
But you're right, Glenn. Danny Baldwin's wife. What was her name? Something like a C.
I remember the actress because she was in. She was in a program called Bad Girls, which was about a women's prison here.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, he got together. She used to be the babysitter for him when they were married. Remember that Danny's ex-wife was an alcoholic and she came back and it was all a big mess. And then his new wife went off with this, with I can't remember his name now, the kid's name. But he got her stepson
back in the show. That would be interesting. They're people I'd like to see back. Yeah.
I think I can't remember, but so many. See, all these things happen in one street, right? All these weird relationships and.
Oh, I know. Yeah, and I'll tell you the character I miss the most is I know we can't bring her back because she's passed, but was I'm drawing a blank here.
Blanche. No.
What was Ken Barlow's wife who passed away?
Oh, Deirdre.
Deirdre's mom.
Yeah, Blanche.
Blanche.
Yeah, she's brilliant character.
She was the best.
Oh.
Yeah, she was brilliant.
Boy, that's why they kind of, when they brought in Tyrone's grandma there, she was kind of Evelyn. She was almost like the new Blanche.
Well, they had Roy's mom came back for a bit. I think they were trying to do that too, like Blanche, Evelyn type of thing.
But she wasn't very. They made her like too unlikable.
Yeah,
she was a bit too mean. Yeah, too mean.
Yeah, she was she was evil. And I guess when Evelyn went off to look after her daughter, Tyrone's real mom.
Yeah.
Is Tyrone's real mom going to end up in the show?
Yeah, they're coming back fairly soon. So when Maureen Lipman has finished doing this run, they're going to be. I think it's already finished in real life, and they're recording it now.
The actress didn't look much older than Tyrone. I'm surprised that's his mom.
Yeah, she is. She used to be in another soap opera here called Brookside, which was based in Liverpool, and it was mainly through the 80s and 90s. It was going, and she was in that. So she is old. Well, she's probably, I don't know. I guess she's in her late 50s, maybe.
Oh, she looks good for that. Yeah, I thought she looks very close to Tyrone.
Yeah.
In age.
Is Fizz coming back after her maternity leave, or
probably?
Sorry, who?
Fizz.
Oh, Fizz. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Well, she's got to come back and take care of the kids, the girls. They got a new Ruby now.
Yeah.
Take care of Ruby.
Well,
she's going to get a shock when she comes back.
I wonder who Ruby grew up.
Wow, that's crazy. And some of these actors who play the kids, like I would imagine the girl who plays Hope, she looks, she's playing a kid of how old is she in the show? Like 12 or 13?
Yeah.
And she's
maybe younger. Maybe younger.
She's 25 years old.
Well, it's also like when you think of the kids in these houses too, like Chesney and Gemma. They've got how many kids in that house?
5.
Plus her mom lives there.
Yeah.
Like, what are
I've
you doing?
no idea how many bedrooms.
Yeah.
These houses are like mansions.
I'm sure those houses are supposed to be like 2 rooms upstairs, 2 rooms downstairs.
And then they're never around. Like, where are the kids all the time? Right? They always have time to go to the pub. They always have time to do stuff. Like, who's watching the kids?
That's good though. That's good though. You don't want 5 kids on the telly all the time.
Oh, I know. I don't. I'm thinking. I say these things right, and it's always like it's a TV show. I was like, I know, but it never seems like realistic.
They're going to do something quickly with Paul, right? Like he's not going to die of that disease, right? He's going to something else going to happen to him. I'm assuming.
Oh, is it? I don't know.
I think he wants
I'm guessing. I just can't.
Oh, maybe he's going to.
Because they say he's got 3 years to live or something, but I don't think they're going to show.
He was talking about assisted suicide, wasn't it?
That's what I'm wondering, if they'll do something like that. That might be the next thing they tackle is the.
Yeah,
I think they did. Didn't they do an episode with that with Billy? I think he mentioned it to Billy. He wants Billy to help him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Up,
so new humoristic storyline for him.
Well, it's kind of like Haley, right? Haley did that, or
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. They'll bring that back before. Wow, that's great. Well, long live Corey.
Yeah.
It's, for people who don't know, it started in 1960, the longest running soap opera in TV history, I'm assuming. I don't know of any other that would be.
I would have thought so.
Be longer. That's 20. What are we into now? 40, 60? We're into 63 years.
Yeah, that will never be beaten, I don't think.
No, and Ken Barlow
from the first.
William Roach has been. He's an MBE, right? I think.
At least that, yeah.
Yeah.
Might be an OBE
by now. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But he's been in since the first episode. That's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's funny he brought his sons on to come, for some characters too. That was kind of neat to see because they looked so similar to him when he was younger. Remember those? When son, I think a couple of his sons came on.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if that man makes it to 100. He looks so healthy, really. I mean, I know his voice is getting.
He does, yeah.
Man, I saw a special they did on him a few months ago, and they showed him like the way he still works out and does all these dance routines, and he's 93 years old.
Ken and Deirdre are such good characters too. Like a good couple too.
Yeah,
they were good together. I like watching them.
Yeah,
with Blanche, the three of them, kind of.
Yeah,
and then when Ken had that affair with that woman, that actress on the barge, the tugboat type of barge thing. That was
the one who came back a few months ago.
Mm.
Did she?
Yeah. She came back as the acting teacher. Remember they were doing that play?
Oh, yeah. I like that kind of those scenes when he was with her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ken and Deirdre, they split up more times than Yes, didn't they?
Yeah, they sure did. But I mean, they had to keep bringing them back together. It was such a strong couple.
It was like Sally and Kevin always split up and got back together too. And I was surprised when she stayed with Tim and didn't go back with Kevin. But
yeah, it's really funny actually how they did that because remember Kevin as a younger person, he was such a sort of a macho. He hated it even when they were split up. He hated it when Sally had other boyfriends or husbands or whatever. But with Tim, he's his best mate, isn't he? It's like it's quite nice what they've done with that. That relationship is quite nice.
I'm also a big fan of Abby's. I hope they leave her and Kevin alone too for a while too.
Yeah. She hasn't been in it for a while actually.
So she's married in real life to Tim.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
From what I understand, they've said that they do not want to do scenes together. You never see them in the same scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I understand Max and the young girl who plays
Lauren, is it?
Lauren, they're a couple in real life too.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you follow all these people on Instagram, Glenn?
Yeah.
I follow a bunch of them too, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I follow Max and Sarah and Maria and all sorts of them. Right?
Sally Carmen, her name is. Yeah, she's great. She's another one. Like if you make comments about her, she'll answer back to you and stuff. I like when people do that.
Who's that?
Sally Carmen, who plays Abby.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
They make a good couple. You can see that they, her and Tim. What's Tim's real name? I don't know what his real name is, but
yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's good. Wow.
Larry, do you have other questions?
How come you can't? How come? I have a question for Larry. Why will he not sit down and try and watch the show?
I know.
Larry,
I'm here.
Why will you not just sit down?
Well, you never watch it here, do you?
I watched it all day today.
Oh, did you?
He was in the other room.
While he's here, sit down and watch.
But Glenn, I've seen it even before Mollie with my stepmom.
But you're making me listen to Pet Sounds 100 more times. I want you to watch Coronation Street.
Tony, let's talk about music. Do you like Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys?
Yeah. I think it's a bit overrated actually, but I do like it.
Okay, that's enough, Tony.
I do like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it too. I like it too.
But I don't think it's as great as it's supposed to be.
No. Thank you.
But it is good though. It's good.
It's good. It's a good
album.
That's all it is. Yeah.
But Larry, if you was to get into, I can visualize it now. If you was to get into Corrie, I can imagine that a video you ranking your top 10 characters.
Yeah.
Like The Office, right?
Yeah, I'm not against watching it, but
well, there you go. Make them watch.
What storyline should he get into? The Richard Hillman one? He might like that one.
Stephen Current. Just get him watching Current and tell him what's going on with Stephen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Current says.
So I've left off now with Steve. Yeah, because Steve. What's Tim's mom's name?
Elaine.
She's finally caught on. They found the forged life insurance policies and all that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of wondering where all that's going to go. But
yeah. So the actress that plays Elaine, she was in she was a comedy actress in the 70s where when she was young and she was a bit of a salt, if you know what I mean. She was in this series called Man About the House, which was about two young girls and a young bloke like living in the same house. They weren't
that's what there's a famous American sitcom called Three's Company.
Yeah,
back in the when was that on the 70s? That was based on Man About the House.
Yeah. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it's that sort of thing. It was at that time where people started living together as a couple rather than being married. But in this comedy series, the guy he didn't mind which of the girls he could get off with, but he would keep trying with either of her. And Elaine, Paula Wilcox, that's her name, Paula Wilcox. Okay. She was one of the young girls. She's like early 20s or whatever. She was in that.
And another disturbing plot was Jeff.
Oh yeah, that was good storyline.
Yeah,
I mean, when you kind of when you get like emotional hatred for a character, then you know that they're a good actor.
Yeah,
that they're and they're playing a good part.
Yeah.
It was it was great to get that storyline done, but it was fascinating while it was going on.
It's not the actor you hate; it's the character, right? So then you realize good actor. It's like, like Tracy, right? You think you hate her, but then because she's doing such a good job, with her acting. Right?
I've always loved Tracy, even when she was evil and killing. I forget the guy's name that she.
Charlie.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I even liked her back then. I just thought she was great.
You liked her back then?
I did. I've always been a big fan of Kate Ford's. I think she does a great job on that show.
One good scene I love with that was when Becky at Tracy and Steve's wedding, right? Because Tracy had said that Becky had killed her babies, and everything, and then she proved that was when Becky left. It was a good kind of exit for a character. I really like Becky. I wouldn't mind Becky coming back too.
Yeah,
but she's another actress who you see on little different things.
Yeah, she's also gone on to do sort of more serious drama stuff. But Tracy has just come in classic Corrie. Tracy has just come back into it as Kate Ford, because they've had about 3 Tracys through the years, and she's just come in. And within about 2 days of her coming back, she split Ken and Deirdre up by telling Ken that Deirdre had slept with Dev. about a year before. Before.
Yeah.
She'd only been in it 5 minutes, and she'd already caused trouble. But she's.
So was that when Kate Ford came in? Was around 2003?
Yeah, about 2003.
Wow, okay.
And she had divorced that Robert. You know, when Robert came back to run the
yeah,
that was
and he turned up in the when she first came in. Robert turned up at Ken and Deirdre's house, and it was a completely different actor to the Robert that we knew more recently.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, the Barwells, the Barlows, it's such a history of that family with Peter's mom died in a car accident, and I don't know what Donald's, or not Donald, the young guy who's with Daisy.
Yeah, what is his name?
Daniel.
Daniel's. I don't know. They're all tied in somehow. Yeah. Like Daniel is Ken's son, but
I could never work out the relationship.
There's a family tree
between Daniel and what's his name? I've forgotten his name.
Peter and Adam.
Adam. Because Daniel is Ken's son, and Adam is Ken's grandson. So I think that makes Daniel Adam's uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that old country song, I'm my own grandpa.
Yeah.
And then Peter had a twin sister that died. And then it turned out that Billy, the pastor, was the one that killed her. Remember? In the car. And then,
I forgot about that.
And then Peter threw Billy over a cliff, right? And he still survived.
Yeah.
The stuff that comes out, I don't know.
Well, that's the other thing, eh? Like, that's the only street in the world where, they'll do the most god awful things, unspeakable things to each other, and then they end up in the pub.
Yeah, they're having
fun. Like weeks later, it's forgotten.
Yeah,
it feels like you hate that person forever.
Yeah. I think the biggest storyline that they've had is the Ken, Deirdre, Mike Baldwin love triangle.
Yeah,
I mean that was a massive story where they were literally printing stories about it on the front pages of the newspapers as each bit of the story unfolds. And on the night that it already all came out, but Deirdre was trying to. Or Ken was trying to decide whether he was going to take Deirdre back or, split up with her. In Manchester on that night, it was a Wednesday night, there was a football match that Manchester United were playing, and they put it up on the scoreboard that Ken is staying with Deirdre at half time or something. They put it up on the scoreboard. It was that important that, because all these Mancunians were probably all of the match, 70,000 of them or whatever the match.
Yeah.
They put it on the scoreboard.
When Deirdre was sent, wrongfully accused and went to jail, right? I remember seeing on TV or something on sides of buses they would have free Deirdre, right? And she'd be behind the bars crying. It was like people took it seriously. They really thought, on the papers and everything, free Deirdre.
Yeah. Because we had this thing here in the 70s where where there was all the troubles in Northern Ireland where the IRA were bombing places on the mainland in the 70s, and there was a bomb went off in a pub in Birmingham, and the gang that got nabbed for that, who eventually it turned out they were innocent, but they were known as the Birmingham Six. And when Deirdre went into jail, there was all these things, free the Weatherfield One.
Yeah, the Weatherfield One, yeah. I remember that, yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, well, I mean, people embrace this like these are real human beings, and these aren't characters, It's funny when Lynn and I talk about it. We'll go, and then you got to shake your head and go, "These aren't real people." Like we're going, why did she do that? Why did she say that?
Yeah. It's why didn't she come back for the wedding, or why didn't she come back for the funeral?
Yeah.
It's a show.
Why would so and so do that to them?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, people do get really drawn into the characters. I'm sure that I can't remember his name, but the actor that played Jeff or Phelan or someone like that, if they've got like Twitter accounts, I'm sure they were getting like loads of abuse from people.
Yeah,
like
when those storylines were going on.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, I bet you when they walk down the street, somebody like if Tino O'Brien walks down the street, they're probably half the people are going, "Hi, Sarah."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you like to, meet if you could?
Oh wow,
Like,
that's
have a
good
drink
one.
with someone if you could.
Boy, to hear some Corey stories. Who would be really cool to meet? Wow.
I think Steve McDonald would be good to have a drink with. I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's a pretty fun guy when you follow his Instagram. He looks like he's having a good time.
He's funny.
You'd say Jim McDonald, Glenn. I thought you'd say that. You like to meet him.
I love Charles Lawson or whatever. He's great. And even the guy who played Les Battersby. That was one of the best. That was one of my.
He was a brilliant character. Yeah, he was brilliant.
And I think he left because he was having some kind of mental issues in his real life.
No, didn't he?
Suffered with depression or something.
I thought he beat somebody up or something.
Oh, really?
I don't know. I thought he did something where he had to be let go.
Oh, I thought he.
I thought, and I might be wrong. I thought he got sacked because he was giving a plot.
Maybe, yeah.
He was releasing information about future plots to newspapers for money.
Oh, I did not know that.
I might be completely wrong. I might be thinking of someone else, but I got a feeling it was because he was letting newspapers know about future plots.
Well, like Tommy Duckworth and I think the original Todd, weren't they both let go too for things they did?
Well, Todd got involved in some sexual issues, I think, in a bar or something. He got let go for.
Yeah, and Tommy Duckworth sang a rap song that wasn't, people didn't.
Yeah,
oh, did he?
I think something like that. But
the son, what, Jack and Vera's son?
Yeah, or the grandson.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What about their son? The son?
Yeah, he
was a low life of a character.
He was
great.
Terry Duckworth.
Duckworth. He was awesome.
He's gonna set up this strip club where the bistro was, and that was.
He would just come in every once in a while. He was never like a guy who was in the show all the time for years straight. All of a sudden, he'd just show up for a couple of months and just be a a-hole. It was
try to get some money out of Jack and Vera and then leave. Yeah, he was good.
He was good.
Actually, he wouldn't come back for no reason, really, right? Unless
Jack needed did Jack need a kidney transplant?
No, Vera did. She needed a kidney or something. No, his son did, I think, and Vera gave it to him. Didn't
that's right. Yeah, his son. His son needed a kidney transplant, and
so
Vera paid him $5,000 or something for him to donate his kidney, and he took the money and ran. It didn't. Yeah.
Tyrone was like,
what a lovely fella.
Yeah.
Terry.
That's crazy. Do you ever hear about any celebrities that are fans? Like would Paul McCartney watch Coronation Street? Do we ever know if any?
No idea.
I think Princess Diana.
I don't know about Paul McCartney, but there's been lots of. I think there are loads of. I would imagine there's loads of people. I mean, it's really well respected as a TV drama here anyway. So I'm sure that there's loads of I mean, there's been quite a lot of serious actors that have been in it for a little while. Ian McKellen was in it for quite a long time. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of other people.
Yeah, and even American. Hasn't there been some American? Who showed up? Was Dustin Hoffman in an episode, or he showed up or something at this? Maybe he just showed up on the set one day or something.
I don't know.
There's been quite a few people who,
yeah.
And of course, Status Quo, the Quo, when Les was
Les's favorite.
Yeah, Les loved the Quo.
Loved the Quo. But I think
so I think there's probably there's quite a lot of celebrity fans.
Like I said, I heard Princess Diana used to watch it. And I know the Queens visited the set, and I think Camilla poured a pint at the, so
Cruella.
Cruella.
she was there. So yeah.
That's hilarious.
Mm.
Wow. Well, this has been fun.
It has. I think we probably ought to. Well, I ought to go to bed because it's 20 past 1 now in the morning.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was great. Where's Larry?
It was fun.
Oh, we've been doing this for an hour and a half. Wow. No wonder we're running out of things to say.
I thought this was just going to be a 10-minute chat.
We were just waiting for you, Larry.
I had one more question, though. Do any of you have, they'd have special guest stars on the show sometime? Was there somebody that you...
They just talked about
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think Ian McCall. What's his? How do you pronounce his last name? McCall.
Ian McKellen.
He was great when he was on. He was like a real grifter, eh? And he was.
Yeah. He was like a fake author or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He played a great part.
They played a good part. You could so if you ever come over to the UK, and you get up to Manchester, you can go on the set.
I did.
It's you've done it.
1999.
Yeah.
My wife and I did.
Yeah.
Another actor I remember just saw it recently. I was watching. He was Blanche's love interest at one point, and then he got off with Tracy. And remember he was renting a house with an indoor pool, and
he was Blanche's love interest, and ended up
and he pretended like he had this home, it's a really big, elaborate home, and then Tracy kind of got interested.
That does ring a bell.
Yeah, because he got, Tracy kind of thought, he's got money, right? So she went, and it ended up being he was house sitting this house. Right, but so she was in the pool, and the woman came home that owned it. Tracy's swimming in the pool. I can't remember.
There was the other guy, the con man too, that Audrey fell in love with, that ended up dying of a heart attack.
Oh yeah, Nigel Havers. Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah,
he was really good.
Quite a famous actor.
Yeah,
there's been a few.
Lewis.
Lewis.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
he was good. Yeah. I'm sure we're missing a lot, but
yeah.
Well, thanks for hosting this, Larry.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, thanks for not being part of the live chat, Larry. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
it was fun.
I got to get you watching it now.
Yeah, and
hopefully some of your fans who watch you and will pretty much watch anything you put up, Larry, because you're amazing. That will get into Corey's.
Do this again.
It's one person to watch it; it'll be worthwhile.
Yeah. And make sure you subscribe to Glen Kellaway from the Basement and Tony's channels. I'll have a link and a little description. And I got Tony last time, like 10,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
No, you got -2 because
Larry, I had 2,000 subscribers last time I was on. Now I got 1,500.
I was gonna say, are you losing?
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, guys. See you soon.
Okay, bye-bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye. You say goodbye.